Hello everyone, it's winter time and a lot of people are thinking about edible crops, particularly fruit trees. You know, we like to grow a lot of fruits and vegetables, but our topic today is fruit trees. The dormant season is traditionally the ideal time not only to find the best selection of edible fruit trees, but also to plant them. Traditionally, fruit trees used to be bare root. You go to the garden center nursery, they used to dig them out of sand pits, and that window of planting was very, very small, maybe December, January, if that. Then we progressed of growers digging these trees in late fall or winter time, putting them in these bags as bare root. These are limited, but these are ideal economically speaking, and the ease of the tree for success to plant them during winter time or the dormant time. So depending what part of the state that you're at, you can go to the Aggie Horticulture website under the fruit tree section, and it has all the specific write-ups of different varieties and types and the ideal fruit type for your part of the state. So if you go this route, do what the commercial growers do. You want to kind of pre-dig the hole, make sure it's as deep as the root ball, like this big pecan tree or some of these smaller fruit trees that we have here. So have that hole kind of pre-dug. You do not want to expose these roots for long, so kind of have that hole dug. Remove the bag and examine the root system. If you have any broken roots, trim those off. Place it at the same depth in the hole as it was in the bag or grown in the field, and you can see a demarcation line. All fruit trees are pretty much grafted. So they grafted on a specific root stock that does best on your climate, on your soil. So you have a root stock, you can see how it's kind of a grafted, it's a demarcation of where they grafted. And then they put a superior variety on the top, either a stem or with multiple buds or just a bud, depending on the variety of fruit tree that it is. So you always plant it at the same depth. Really pack in that soil. Try to use the soil as best you can that you pick from the hole. You want to know the requirements of that tree. All these trees need full sun, but how tall do they get? So a lot of these trees come with these helpful tags that tell you a little bit about the tree, the size. So give these trees space, not only for full sun, but air circulation is very, very important on these trees. Commercially, these bare root trees, they cut them back hard. For instance, this big 4 to 6 foot pecan tree, commercially during the dormant season, they'll cut this dude back to 42 inches, okay? And we're trying to balance out the shoots and the roots. You have to have a balance of a scale, and that's what they do. But you know, there's so much information of all these specific fruit trees on the Texas A&M Aggie Horticulture website. Study up on these trees. Learn about that tree, the specifics, how to properly plant it, prune it, and grow it, and you'll have a good chance of growing these bare root trees. Now, container is where we're at nowadays, the availability, and we'll talk about container fruit trees next. We're at the nursery and we're excited. We want to add some new fruit trees to our home orchard, but wow, which ones do I pick? There's so many varieties. You know, let's study up a little bit about these plants, either the identification tag that they have, use your local extension service recommended list, talk to your certified nursery professionals of trees that they're selling and their customers have had success over the years. And Aggie Horticulture, you know, the fruit tree section has, depending what part of the state you're at, we use San Antonio as a baseline, but there's folks from the Hill Country, Fredericksburg, Kerrville, or even down south, the Gulf Coast, so find that right variety. So, wow, let's study up, find out which one you think is going to be the best one. Often you hear this term chilling hours, chilling requirements. And the way to approach a lot of these trees is we use peaches as a guideline for chill hours. The standard old model is when the tree is completely dormant, it's gone to sleep for the winter time, we do 32 degrees and 45 degrees. And we bank those hours from 32 to 45 degrees. So we want the tree completely dormant. It has to be to sleep. Now y'all have seen these very mild winters that we have, that the trees start getting fall color, but the trees don't drop off completely because it's still warm. If that's the case, by about October 1, November 1st, if these trees are still holding those leaves, we want to help them go to sleep. So copper fungicide spray on all these varieties of fruit trees will defoliate them. It'll kind of keep them clean of bacterial potential in the fall time, but we want to go to sleep these trees. So we're banking hours, 32 to 45 degrees. So we use San Antonio, Bexar County kind of as a baseline, 550 hours, 32 to 45 degrees, 550 hours. You go Fredericksburg, you go where there's commercial peaches, or even up to the Panhandle. You know, Fredericksburg's around 800. The Panhandle could be about 1,000 hours. South of San Antonio, it decreases. It can go all the way up to 250 hours down in the valley, or even some parts of the Gulf Coast. So that's kind of a good guideline. Anything that's extremely super hot or super cold during that time can negate some of those hours, but we shoot for about 550 for San Antonio, Bexar County is a good rule of thumb. So what happens when we see varieties that are blooming too early? That means it could be low chill varieties. If they don't really bloom or leaf out, then they're high. So we want to kind of get the right chill hours depending on what part of the state that you're at. From the beautiful Rainbow Gardens in San Antonio, David Rodriguez, Extension Horticulturist with the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service.